The international police organization Interpol has issued a red seek and arrest notice for a fugitive Chinese billionaire. The man fled China following allegations of huge illegal fundraising. China has launched a campaign to track down economic criminals who flee China. For more on that, CCTV's Li Chiyuan joins us live from Beijing. What can you tell us about this fugitive billionaire?
Mike, this most wanted man is a 58-year-old businessman named Liao Rongna, and he is suspected of obtaining loans and investments under false pretenses. Prosecutors say Liao cheated his way to huge amounts of money by promising investors high returns and then failed to repay the debts. Beijing found guilty of this kind of crime in China can result in a death sentence. And Liao is the chairman of the Zhengling Group, a private conglomerate based in Liuzhou City in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, and he was on the Hurun Rich List in 2009. It has always been regarded as the richest man in the city of Liuzhou. His business included automobile, construction materials, and logistics, and Zhengling Group was once one of the 100 enterprises in the province. So it is no surprise that he managed to woo investors into lending him huge sums of promise of lucrative returns, and police found more than 1,500 loan contracts worth $1.5 billion during their investigation, Mike.
Well, we understand an official from the Ministry of Public Security says I guess there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 economic fugitives from China, a lot of them at large in the United States, and most of them facing corruption charges.
That's right, Mike. According to Liao Jinrong, a senior official from the ministry, the U.S. has become the top destination for corrupt Chinese fleeing the law. Now, figures from the ministry show that during the past decade, Chinese police have brought only 2 fugitives home from the U.S. to stand trial. And Liao says, quote, "We face practical difficulties in getting fugitives who fled to the U.S. back to face trial due to the lack of an extradition treaty and complex and lengthy legal procedures." Also, experts say United States authorities don't understand the Chinese judicial system and think suspects' rights are not protected. And there's only one annual meeting between judicial authorities from the 2 countries. It happens in August or September, and the 2 sides discuss drug and weapon trafficking and cybercrime. But that situation is about to change. According to China Daily, the Ministry of Public Security is trying to set up an annual high-level meeting with U.S. officials, including the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, to discuss how to apprehend more Chinese fugitives. And China calls the fugitive campaign Fox Hunt. Aside from 150 people at large in the U.S., Xinhua News Agency says 320 suspects in other countries were seized and brought back to China in the first half of this year. And China's top prosecutor, Cao Jianming, says more than $1.5 billion in dirty money and property was recovered at home and abroad last year. More than 700 corruption suspects were captured in China and overseas. And according to a People's Bank of China report, in the past 20 years, an estimated 16,000 to 18,000 party officials, businessmen, and other individuals have disappeared from China. And they took with them an estimated 800 billion yuan, which is more than 130 billion US dollars. Mike?
Let's turn to the rebuilding efforts in Yunnan province where that earthquake struck. We understand that some children are now being allowed to continue their studies there, correct?
Yes, you're right, Mike. A temporary primary school has been constructed in the quake zone using prefabricated housing materials. And the building has 20 rooms, just enough for over 500 students who used to study at Longtoushan Township. And the China Youth Development Fund has provided about $150 for each of some 300 students. And the foundation says it will collect information about pupils affected by the quake. About 5,000 students in the quake zone are expected to receive help. And in other news, southwest China's Guizhou province is struggling to cope with torrential rains. 12 people are dead and 12 are missing. More than 35,000 people are now in shelters. About 10,000 hectares of farmland is damaged. Officials estimate the direct economic loss in Guizhou at about $104 million. And German automaker Audi has admitted to engaging in monopolistic practices in China. The German automaker says it's willing to accept punishment. The move is the latest stemming from Audi anti-monopoly investigations in the country's automobile sector. And automakers including Chrysler, Jaguar, and Land Rover all lower their car prices, with some other brands reducing prices of spare parts as well. Mike, back to you in the studio.
All right, Li Chiyuan joining us from Beijing. Thank you.